but I didn't see at that time what I saw later on.
Another king of music that rose to fame in Memphis was B.B. King. B.B. was one of the few Memphis musicians who knew Elvis back in the early days of his career. In various interviews after Elvis died, he was asked about the negative rumors about Elvis circulating in the black community. Stay tuned, because you may be surprised at what he said.
Elvis was very shy when I first met him. When I first met him, he was in the studio in Memphis there. So I used to go out to the studio, and my company that I worked for at the time would always contract Mr. Phillips to let us in any time that we had something to record. And usually Elvis would be there practicing a lot of times. He had several people. But
B.B. got his start a few years earlier than Elvis did in the 1950s. He worked at the Memphis radio station, WDIA, as a singer and DJ. He was nicknamed Beale Street Blues Boy, which was later shortened to Blues Boy, and then just B.B. You can even hear Elvis say, "Play it, Blues Boy," in his 1956 recording, My Baby Left Me, which was not included in the original version by Arthur Crudup. As we saw in the 2022 Elvis movie, Elvis loved to go hang out at Beale Street in those early days. He and B.B. King were depicted as being good friends at that time in the film. But was it really true? Well, not exactly.
At that time, he was a handsome guy, good looking. I didn't think too much about his playing or singing. I mean, it was okay, yeah, but I didn't see at that time what I saw later on. But he would talk and he would watch. He didn't ask questions a lot, but he would watch.
In his 1996 autobiography, B.B. King said Presley, quote, was different. He was friendly. I remember Elvis distinctly because he was handsome, quiet, and polite to a fault. Spoke with this thick molasses Southern accent. And always called me sir. I liked that, unquote. In 1956, after Elvis had moved from Sun Records to RCA, he reached worldwide fame. B.B. King started to take notice.
Yeah, but see, at first he was playing more like rockabilly. He wasn't really getting into the things that he started to do later. But when he started to do that, then he started to turn heads, including mine. He had everything. The looks, he had the talent. I mean, he had everything. You know, you started looking at the guys, God almighty, he's handsome, he's tall, he looks good, he can sing, he can play.
In December 1956, Elvis and B.B. King were photographed together at the WDIA Goodwill Review. WDIA was the first radio station in the country to have an all-black format. WDIA featured gospel music and rhythm and blues, and was the top-rated Memphis station in the early 1950s. This station was a big influence on Elvis as a teenager in Memphis. The WDIA Goodwill Review was an annual charity event which raised funds for black children in need. It was held at the Ellis Auditorium in Memphis. Quote, "The Goodwill Reviews were important," B.B. King said. The entire black community turned out. All the DJs carried on, putting on skits and presenting good music, unquote. Elvis attending the all-black event was a spontaneous last-minute decision. After his friend, Memphis DJ George Klein, told him about it. Quote, Elvis's biggest concern on the way to the show was that he wanted to be as low-key as possible and not do anything to distract from the scheduled acts' performances, George Klein wrote in his memoir. Backstage at the event, Rufus Thomas asked Elvis to perform, but he declined. Instead, as a surprise for the audience, Rufus brought Presley out on stage and introduced him. Quote, as soon as the crowd saw him, the place went crazy, recalled George Klein. I don't think it crossed Elvis's mind that he was crossing a color line. He didn't think that way. He had simply wanted to be at the Goodwill Review because he wanted to hear Ray Charles and all the other acts, though I know it must have felt good to him to be accepted so warmly and enthusiastically there, unquote. When Elvis appeared at the review, he was already a big star, B.B. King recalled. Remember, this was the 50s, so for a young white boy to show up in an all-black function took guts. I believe he was showing his roots, and he seemed proud of those roots. After the show, he made a point of posing for pictures with me, treating me like royalty, B.B. said. He'd tell people I was one of his influences. I doubt whether that's true, but I like hearing Elvis give Memphis credit for his musical upbringing, unquote. At the height of Presley's fame, an awful rumor started in the black community that Elvis made this statement, "The only thing Negroes can do for me is buy my records and shine my shoes." In 1957, Elvis was questioned about it by a reporter for Jet magazine. It was documented in the article by Louis Robinson called The Truth About That Elvis Presley Rumor. The pelvis gives his views. When asked about making that statement, Elvis responded, quote, "I never said anything like that, and people who know me know I wouldn't have said it," unquote. In addition to showing that the rumored source of the statement did not exist, Jet magazine also asked a few black acquaintances of Elvis what they thought, including a black pianist in Los Angeles who recently had worked with Elvis on 2 of his movie soundtracks. Quote, "I can't imagine Presley saying that, not knowing him the way I do," said pianist Dudley Brooks. Elvis also offered his own statement to the reporter about singing rock and roll. Quote, "A lot of people seem to think I started this business, but rock and roll was here a long time before I came along. Nobody can sing that type of music like colored people. Let's face it, I can't sing it like Fats Domino can. I know that, but I always liked that kind of music. I used to go to the colored churches when I was a kid, like Reverend Brewster's church," unquote. At the end of the article, Jet magazine acknowledged that the rumor was unfounded. B.B. King did not believe the theory that Elvis stole black music.
I don't think he ripped them off.
"I think once something has been exposed, anyone can add or take from it if they like. He was just so great, so popular, and so hot, and so anything that he played became a hit," unquote. In an interview in 2010 with writer Jack Dennis, B.B. King described how Elvis helped him find success in Las Vegas. Quote, "Back in 1972, Elvis helped me get a good gig at the Hilton Hotel while he was playing in the big theater," King explained. "He put in a call for me, and I worked in a lounge to standing room only. Many nights I'd go upstairs after we finished our sets and go up to his suite. I'd play Lucille and sing with Elvis, or we'd take turns. It was his way of relaxing. I'll tell you a secret," King laughed. "We were the original Blues Brothers because that man knew more blues songs than most in the business, and after some nights, it felt like we sang every one of them," unquote. B.B. King also stated in his autobiography that he held no grudges towards Elvis. Quote, "Elvis didn't steal any music from anyone. He just had his own interpretation of the music he'd grown up on. Same is true for everyone. I think Elvis had integrity."
To me, they didn't make a mistake when they called him the king.
Other black singers like James Brown have talked about their support for Elvis. Check out this video next. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like this video to help this channel grow. For more fascinating facts about Elvis, pick up one of Trina Young's 4 Elvis books. Read a free excerpt at elvisbiography.net. Please subscribe to this channel and ring the bell for notifications of future videos, and keep watching more Elvis videos here.